You are. I
Yeah.
stand.
I think perhaps the greatest failure of today is thinking that I would be able to update my Bluetooth drivers and have that be not punishable by death. Um, so that's fun. Hello everybody. We are here to play Of the Devil, which I don't know if you guys remember when we did episode 0, but since we've tried the demo for episode 0, we've been a model employee, we've been marching in line, and we are now going to be Of the Devil. And I really underestimated this title screen the first time around. And I've got to be honest, just seeing that fucking cigarette is really doing something to me. So, you know. We are going to be doing, as always, like a lot of critical analysis. The demo really blew me away, and it was an incredible playthrough, and I've linked it on my Blue Sky through YouTube. Also, if you just type in DeMaiste of the Devil episode 0, you'll be able to see it there. So I'm not going to rehash too much about the title screen or anything like that. So we're just going to keep it rocking and rolling. Did the webcam fail me today? It has been not my favorite, but I'm gonna see if I can fiddle with some things in the background. I had the idea that I was gonna take the UI from Model Employee and like fit my webcam in one of the like different like panels and then like put in some like other little cute Easter eggs and things like that. But yeah. Did I see the bonus phone charm for playing the demo? Not only did I see the cool and cute bonus phone charm Wirebone, I do not have it. So that's fun. That's incredibly fun and good. And I'm not upset about the fact that I don't have it for technical difficulties. I don't know. I don't know that it didn't work. Also, if people have a recommendation on where to put the webcam, I am happy to accept it. And if we need to do any like cropping or anything like that, in the tradition of the first time that we played, of the Devil, which used to be just a tradition of For Me Fridays and things like that. We are besuited up, and that is in part in stern contrast to sort of everything Morgan does. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but sweet mother of God, I wasn't prepared the first time around, and I'm not prepared this time around. And the amount of time that I wasted talking about menus, talking about visuals, I say wasted. Of the Devil is the only game that has ever given me like a massive sense of satisfaction in spending time at like looking at visuals, looking at the menu screens, looking at every detail, paying attention to everything. So tentatively, not wasted. But we'll see how episode 1 goes, because I don't know anything. I have looked up no spoilers. I don't know any like interesting facts or information. I don't know anything. I am coming in with the eyes of a newborn babe. And that's in part why my stream setup is so bad. Newborn babe stream setup. You get it. So yeah, bottom right for this game should be fine. You did bottom right, and it was only in the way of the anti-up system. I mean, okay. Interest of fairness. The idea of spending social credit is so funny, and like gambling it, like gambling ethos. God, when we played the demo, when the demo came out, we did not live in the environment that we live in right now. And I am so curious to see what Of the Devil has to say about all of those subject matters, as well as what's going to be happening. So, buckle up, cowpokes. I suspect it's going to be a good, chill time that will have no long-term consequences whatsoever. And if you need help with the subtext, this is maybe a sensitive content warning. When episode 0 is intense, it's incredible. It's gonna have you like ripping at your own throat if you haven't already looked at it. Episode 1, I'm expecting, is going to be sunshine and puppies and walking kittens through fields. And so therefore it needs no such content warnings as violent crime, sociopathic and toxic manipulation, that sort of thing. So, best discretion advised, you get it. And it's good to see you, Rain. Hello, hello, hello. We have prepared for reading a visual novel, by which I mean it's not going to focus. Can I hide my face? This is a water bottle. It is the size of my head. I have a very large head. Don't take that out of context. So I expect to be doing a lot of reading, and I expect it to go really well. And I expect you all to be in awe of my voice acting. Please applaud. Thank you. But yeah, okay. That's enough talking about the game. We haven't even actually talked about the game yet. That's enough talking about the game. It's 21 minutes. I've got an hour and a half left after this. Let's get into the ding-dang thing. Thank you for the hydrate redeem. Okay. New case. Again, not playing episode 0 because, oh, and this is the other thing that is important. So last time that we played episode 0, I intended to do it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour because I thought I was going to make it the warm-up game. I ended up playing the game contiguously for 6 hours. I have been informed that is a bad idea to try and pull with episode 1 because it is significantly longer. So, heads up. Let's get into the ding-dang thing. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I want to make myself smaller. Don't take that out of context either. Hold on. let's try this for a hot second while we go through Of the Devil. This might be more distracting in the long run. We'll see. We'll rock and roll. Episode 1 is chonky, that's all you'll say. I do appreciate the discretion and the following with, like, you know, trying to keep it relatively spoiler-free. The impact of episode 0 was so incredible, and if you do get it spoiled for you, you are robbing yourself of an incredible experience. And so this message here is also very good, right? Episode 1 is a self-contained mystery, but it contains massive spoilers for episode 0. Don't do it to yourself. Also, can we talk about this space? Can we talk about this for a second? First of all, obviously, we're seeing these barcodes with numbers attached to them. I have no idea what this is. I have I have no idea what this room is. There's a lot of like white marble. I'm losing it. Obviously what we are looking at is going to be a future courtroom, right? Like, we are going to be in this room debating law. Look at these like flags. Look at like these like solid gold flags. Just like, I love the way they use the environment and talk about things through it, and I never think it's too heavy-handed because I genuinely enjoy not forcing people to read subtext, but I also enjoy having things be multi-layered, and there is already so much going on here, but I literally cannot stop and admire every single screen, because if I do, I will never go beyond this one chat box. I'm dying already. I'm excited though. I'm very excited. If you haven't finished episode 0, it is strongly recommended you return to the title and do so before proceeding. Oh, okay. Let's start over. I'm gonna go ahead and quit and go to the title, please. You can choose to play episode 1 in a high roller mode. Okay. The usage of red text there and everything we know about Morgan and the usage of red text, I'm feeling a lot of feelings. I am being transported back to a simpler time. Oh good, you're just in time. Hello, Aetherflow, welcome in. Well. Hey, 1NFK. Episode 1 of The Devil is out already, if you haven't picked it up. And can I recommend picking it up? Gamba, you say? God. Very Umineko. So, fun fact, Wirebone, I have not actually played a lot of visual novels. Or obviously read, however you refer to that. So I know about Umineko When They Cry, or I think that's the like subtitle, but I've never interacted with it at all. So, in high roller mode, you're limited to 1 save slot, and you won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. Quick saving and auto saves will be disabled as well. The minimum ante for hands will be increased. The minimum and maximum penalties for answering incorrectly during trial gameplay will be increased. What the fuck? But the maximum ante will be increased as well, allowing you to earn the largest possible high score for credit in this episode. And again, we're talking about social credit, which is just so clever. Completing this episode in high roller mode will also unlock an exclusive phone charm that can't be earned any other way. You can turn high roller mode off at any time in settings, but in order to turn it back on, you would have to restart this episode. High roller mode is intended to encourage risk-taking and discourage save scumming. Consider enabling it if you want to pursue this mystery like a true gambler. I don't want to pursue this game like a true gambler. Is this the way the game is meant to be played? Oh my god. Standard save and load as often as you like for the perfectionist. Okay, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this right here. Again, incredibly stylish, incredibly like something that blew me away about the episode 0 stuff is this sort of motif about the card. There's one for Morgan as well. I think it's the king. And on one side of the card is just Morgan, and on the other side of the card is Morgan with like a very slight modification. I think her eyes are red. And again, obviously, we're talking about gambling. We're talking about playing the hand that you're being dealt. We're talking about all of this jazz. So this here, I presume, is Lady Justice. Justice is blind. The expression at the top where she's smiling, the expression at the bottom where her face is in a line, just like everything that is being done here is already incredible. Standard, right? It's not saying that standard is the intended gameplay experience or anything like that for the perfectionist. Normally, I would play games on this kind of mode. I am a coward. I would play games as easily as possible in my free time because I don't have a lot of time. But this is our first time playing episode 1. And we literally were just talking about the contrast between green lines and red lines, right? High roller. Limited to 1 save slot. Loading prior saves is disabled during trials. Play like a real gambler. What was I gonna do? Not play high roller mode? Welcome to the high roller tables. Enjoy the thrill. Disable tutorials, you can turn them back on in settings. We need the refresher. The general concept is not too terribly complex at its like design philosophy, but I am definitely taking the refresher. Thank you. Not save scumming in my visual novel. Wowie. So there was one like mech-based visual novel that I played, where it was like about big stompy robots because I like big stompy robots. And in that, I played it through one time. I went, wow, visual novels sure are cool. And then I never went back and played it ever again. I do not have any intention necessarily to do so with the words that I was about to say was, I have no intention of trying to 100% of the devil. But then I thought about those words as I was saying them. Let's keep the tutorial on. Do it for her, Morgan. Have a weakness for hot redheads. It's true. Listen, I just wanted to thank you for coming over. Wanted to thank you for coming over? Figures you'd notice. Anyone could tell something's bothering you. Okay, so if you don't know of the devil, it is again very hard to describe and encapsulate in one sort of thing. This is the procedural crime drama, right? Where you get sort of the like shot of what's going to happen in the top. Of the devil had a incredibly of the devil. Episode 0 had an incredibly similar setup. You if you don't know the framework, go out and watch like Monk or Law and Order, SVU, or those sorts of things, and you'll get that sort of shot in media res, and then it'll go. But I do love it. I am a very big fan. You get it. Anyone could tell something's bothering you. You're the first person to say anything. What happened? The police came to see me. In public? No, they wanted to be considerate of my privacy. If we did not already have a hint, that whoever silhouette green text is incredibly wealthy. From the inclusion of a tree in what we know to be a cyberpunk dystopia, from the sort of large glass window panes, from the couch, from everything that we see here. If we did not know that they were fabulously wealthy from all of those context clues, the police wanting to be considerate of your privacy? How incredibly affluent you must be. That's a first. They wanted to talk to me about the other week, about my whereabouts and yours. I told them I didn't know anything. They must have loved that. Funny. What would you have done? In your shoes? Probably curse them out. Yeah, I could see that. Is there anything you want to ask me? No. Not even for a favor in return? No favors lost between friends, I say. That sounds like a toast. Why not? Two friends. Very dapper look. Thank you, Maz. It's a special occasion. We also were besuited, kind of, for episode 0. Actually, the reason why we were besuited was for Me Friday, but I had to look my very best for Miss Morgan. I'll raise a glass to that. Glass him. I don't know how young voice is, so. Vandalism detected. Incident log. Recorded at 8:55 a.m. local time. Geopositional data encoded. If I could have all citizens in the area. Fuck off, copper! Visuals impaired. Facial recognition compromised. Pinging nearby optics for corroborating evidence. Oh my god, I forgot about... Oh man, oh no! I forgot about the optional, choosing to opt into Big Brother. Oh man, anyways. The palette for the backgrounds here are so good. Always are, but you're fond of the blue, green, red, greens a lot. I generally speaking, I haven't talked about this particular scene because we're in a change. There's a lot going in. Again, we're already in media res, which is something that I do enjoy. We're not being necessarily told anything, but we're getting to see and experience it. But I do love the backgrounds. I love the design concepts, and the writing is also really good, right? I don't know, I can't speak a lot to visuals because I'm kind of a plebeian when it comes to that element, but everything here comes together to a seamless whole, which I am again biased about because for me, this is like slipping into something comfortable after work. I don't know, getting out of my stuffy sweat clothes and putting on a suit and tie. Something comfortable. Hey! Oh no, this is a rush voice. Hey, he's lighting up every phone on the block. We need to go now, or what? He'll use his outdoor voice? Or he'll have us pinned down to our dental records before you can say, we're fine. Hello, Morgan. Morning, Officer Leo. You look different today. Oh, that's cute. Okay. L30, it's lead speak. Children, if you don't know what lead speak is, ask your parents. And if they don't know, you're not meant to know. But again, we're seeing barcodes, right? We're seeing Officer, Police, Leo, C0307. There's a lot of cute stuff in here. I don't even want to talk about Morgan. I don't want to talk about Morgan. I don't want to talk about her stupid bolo tie. I don't want to look at her. But also, Leo, law enforcement officer, clever. I didn't get that. I absolutely did not track that. You do something new with your uniform? Oh, and then, okay, so I don't know if you guys saw that at the top. We do gain information on our cell phone. Oh, fucking hell's bells. I fucking forgot about the character profiles! Do you think the Heartbreak Killer profile is the same? So these are different than episode 0 as well, right? Obviously, date of birth, height, weight, blood type, occupation, likes, dislikes, exercises by swimming, hidden talent, baking, body count. What was body count in episode 0? Oh, I'm so curious. Anyways, okay, sorry. We're focusing up. We cannot get distracted by literally everything. Good morning to you too, Morgan citizen. To answer your question, no, I have not undergone any recent retrofitting. If you'd like a more detailed record of my maintenance history, you can make a request for... I've got it. Must be the new coat of paint. You're referring to the act of vandalization that just took place. The framing of Morgan here, where we get these like this young voice and this rushed voice who are like, oh, we gotta scram, like it's the police, and like Morgan, right? Like what are they going to do? This framing device is incredible. Only the most recent one. Super Cop over here has a new dent every time I see him. I gotta be so real with you. If I was ever going to cosplay something from Of the Devil, it would probably be something like Leo's outfit here. I love minor side characters. I don't know that we're gonna be seeing a lot of Leo, but scars honorably earned in the line of duty. Scanning the street for jaywalkers and loiterers. He's an android. Don't worry, ma'am. Fuck off. A report has been filed, and the police are working to resolve the situation. Am I scrapping my Kasim London cosplay dreams? No, I love Kasim London. But again, the problem with London, right, is like, the problem with Kasim London is that he is canonically a model in the fiction, and I am not. And I know nothing about Leo other than he is an android and he's a cop. And obviously, you know, a cab, but also... Civil disobedience at this time of day? What's the world coming to? Is that a correct application of civil disobedience? Would civil disobedience not be the vandals in this situation being arrested? They're just stragglers, ma'am. There was a period of unrest in the area last night. Unlicensed protesting and demonstrating without a permit. Well, I hope you threw the book at them. The disturbance was handled, but individual instances of volatility may occur during the next 48 hours as we work to apprehend outside actors. Thanks for the forecast. So does the bleeding stop on its own? I did not comment on that, right? Whatever is going on here. Also, why have the visor if the visor is easy to break, right? Like the young voice said glass him. What precisely is entailed in the concept of glassing? What is going on there? But androids don't have blood, ma'am. This is just a leakage of oxidizing fluid. But if you bleed, that's just a leakage of oxidizing fluid, right? Deoxygenated blood is blue, oxygenated blood is red. My mistake. So you don't need a bandage, I take it? The leakage will dry shortly. With that conversation thoroughly exhausted, I let my mind wander as I wait for the signal to cross. I unfocus my eyes and dull my hearing, seeking beneath the hum of the city street, and fading through the lives bustling around me like so much sea foam. Across the way, a large man with worn hands and an ill-fitting belt turns to a gorilla-like hulk of a machine and cuffs his hands in front of his mouth. Yo, 61! The machine halts its lifting with uncanny precision and turns to him. Okay, so obviously in the background we can see it a little bit here, right? The vibe, the setting, the cameras that are around the place, the people who are loitering about, the ideas of the megacity. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but working for delivery now makes me relate to model employee in a way that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I did have a background in both political science and legal studies. So in university, I was a legal scholars program for the university that I went to. It is very funny to me how much of the setting and the vibe is also in part conferring what Morgan is seeing and feeling, but not the idea of framing it as this is what Morgan's experiencing in the moment. It's very well done. We're going on break. The robot tilts its head to the side. You can't work the piler without Schwinn up on the roof, so I don't know, take a load off, will ya? Understood, came the over-enunciated reply. The man, already walking away, tosses a dismissive wave behind him. Yeah, understood. A moment after the man turns the corner, the robot attempts to mimic the hand wave to no one in particular. Goddamn coppers on every street corner. Search terms, copper. Ooh, copper. Ads. Are they not going to say that copper is referring to a police officer, a cop? A derogatory word for automated dependents, particularly ones licensed by or operating under the authority of the state. I fucking love Of the Devil. Interested parties in the automated dependent industries have, on more than one occasion, lobbied for coppers and other terms like it, clanker, chrome dome, microchip breath, to be classified as hate speech, arguing that anti-mechanical sentiment constitutes an expression of prejudice. Are we... Okay. Nope. Trust the writers. Trust the process. Trust the game devs. Were it considered a form of hate speech, incidents of destruction of corporate property where such terms were used in prior communications would qualify for additional severity and higher fines paid toward the damaged party. Never mind! I didn't even have to ask the question I was thinking. Under all but the most radical interpretations of hate speech law, however, prejudice can only be directed towards sentient, living things, people, animals, or corporations. If you feel that a corporation you know has been the victim of a hate crime, you can report it at our confidential portal here. Insert my usual conversation about the difference between sentience and sapience. Insert my normal conversation about the difference between like nuance and words having specific usage and how much I love this sort of thing. Also, the game doesn't force you in this moment to pull up this search term and look at this information. Again, I think it is very... I love the seamless flow of all of this. This killed you, what an opener. We've talked about Citizens United. We've talked about Megacorps. We do like Shadowrun, Cyberpunk, all of that jazz. This is just very good. Literally, if you can't figure this out, figure out what's happening here. The long story short is doing something that ostensibly looks good at the surface, potentially, depending upon circumstances and interpretations and examination, and obviously there being an underlying alternative motivator. So, okay. Goddamn coppers on every street corner, at a bus stop, or what used to be a bus stop, now a charging station. A passionate young man voices his democratic opinion loud enough for the whole street to hear. They declare martial law when I wasn't looking? The small woman beside him, trying hard to appear even smaller, shifts in her seat. Well, they're just doing their job, so... Bots don't have jobs, except the ones they stole from us. Notice how they don't patrol so heavily in Uptown, even on the worst days? His audience, captive by virtue of sharing the same charging pole as him, shuffles, coughs, and stare even harder at their phones. The woman looks at her knees and pulls at her shirt. You're kind of embarrassing me right now. Shh. He makes a vague gesture with his hand to indicate he's stepped off his soapbox, and the shoulders of everyone around him relax a centimeter. The shots of the city background, 10 out of 10. If episode 0 took Mr. Streamer 6 hours, you're roughly betting 10 hours on episode 1. I have heard that normal gameplay for normal people is significantly longer than 10 hours. So the good news is there's plenty of content for us to enjoy. A woman with exhaustion in her eyes sighs at a hologram floating above her chrome-plated palm. I assume this is a conversation about cybernetics. Mods, okay? Showing results for body modifications. Cute. Body modifications, aka mods, is a term that may refer to cybernetic prosthetics, artificial implants, neural enhancements, or any combination of the above. I did mention Shadowrun earlier. It's just one of like the more accessible and immediately relevant cyberpunk pieces of media for me. There's also, of course, Neuromancer. If you haven't played Cyberpunk 2077, that is obviously cyberpunk by its very nature. I do like this definition of mods, body modification, because there's, you have cybernetics, which is the robot parts, and then they have a thing that they refer to as bioware, or, cloning meat in a vat and then replacing your meat with that meat. Why not? While body modification have been seen throughout history and across a wide range of cultures, the modern body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic factors, expression or identity, to extrinsic motivators, job opportunities, technological benefits, improvements in physical or mental ability. Do you think we are going to get references to Tethys? Are we going to get references to, model employee or like March in Line with like regards to like certain bits of tech and things like that? Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical. But this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. The increased prevalence of so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification systems, but so far, none have gained much traction. Users also frequently searched for, can you return mods? Can you undo mod surgery? Best reviewed neural implants, 2086. Oh man. Hell yeah. You tried to play this before today so you wouldn't get spoilers, but after 2 to 3 hours you get the vibe you're in for a long ride. Well, on one hand, I am deeply appreciative of you choosing to enjoy the long ride with us, 1NFK, but I'm gonna have to take a lot of notes. Now that's just... A woman with exhaustion in her eyes sighs at a hologram floating above her chrome-plated palm, while a rounded, smooth-looking android pushes a carriage behind her. Baby carriage? Literal giant carriage? Cinderella carriage? Horse-drawn carriage, but the horse is an android. Well, in the interest of fairness, it could be an adult woman who's interested in... I'm not going to finish that sentence, actually. Ellen, walk her around the block. Get her some air, would you? Apparently, this call can't wait, and it's louder than a garbage disposal out here. Of course, ma'am. I'd be happy to. The android punctuates its sentence with a sound halfway between a whir and a purr, which, judging by the coos and giggling coming from the child, seems to have been well received. Robots, holograms, androids, drones, coppers, if you prefer. Is it literally referring to like the idea of copper wire being used to send, like to transmit electricity? Like what is the origin of the term? I'm surprised we did not get that. Which, in the interest of fairness, the glossary is about Google searches, right? So automated dependent. Noun, the legal designation for any intelligent electronic entity. So my toaster isn't included in that list, huh? That thing sure does suck, man. Don't ever tap me for toaster-related comedy. Abbreviated as AD, and referred to in common conversations as ad or ads. Automated dependent is a catch-all term encompassing robots, intelligent programs, interactive holograms, and androids. Ads are present both digitally and physically in every industry and nation on the planet, assisting in everything from data management to physical labor. In the mid-21st century, lobbyists pushed through new tax classifications. To define intelligent machines that were neither salaried employees nor mere equipment. Because it afforded tax breaks and lighter tariffs, the term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from which point it began to penetrate into everyday speech and popular culture. Some sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not simply to its brevity and prevalence, but to its ability to draw a distinction between the commonplace, robots, androids, smart UIs, etc., and the internationally illegal artificial intelligences. Searching for this term may incur an account flag. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. I did want to say, as someone who has been doing a little bit of writing recently, do you think they chose into everyday speech and pop culture and did pop culture instead of popular culture because of the usage of the term popularity here? Word choice and like whether or not you're like doing things that sound repetitive is always so top of my mind. But anyways, can't so much as sneeze in the city without a dozen different ads offering you a handkerchief. There's a vocal minority that think they're the downfall of civilization, but for everyone else, you're too kind, ma'am. Thank you for your concern. It's hard to hate them when they're so eager to please. Don't want to be hated by Morgan? Be sure to be eager to please her. Crosswalk's giving me the okay. Keep us safe, yeah? Have a good day, Morgan citizen. Is the Leo android on a beat? It's a bright, crisp morning in the city. What is this sign? White Fiddler? Why is there a bulletproof vest and like an AK-47? Lights changing and people moving in click-clacking harmony, all smooth as clockwork. Were I in a worse mood, it would all be a bit much. But I went out last night. Hell yeah! Oh, God! So I'm feeling particularly refreshed this morning. God, I love that. As I reach the other end of the street, I pivot lightly and give Automated Dependent Assistant Officer L30 my best impression of a salute. Thank you for your service. And of course, he creaks out a mirrored response. No sense of sarcasm, the poor bastards. But I didn't come all this way downtown to poke fun at the only happily employed class in human history. Nothing like a night out hitting the town. Oh, 1NFK, I think you did a typo there. I think your sentence syntax is weird. You mean nothing like a night out hitting... No, I came down here to make an important purchase. Fuck off, Morgan, with your important purchases. Oh. Wow. Never mind. Zero literacy needed to understand this sentence. Today, I'm going to buy a gun. An idle mind. So I know the phrase "and idle hands are the devil's plaything." So is that what we're alluding to here? And it explains the sign with the bulletproof vest and the AK-47. Everything makes sense. No staff around, but all the lights are on. Should I have knocked? I am gonna move the webcam down to the bottom right corner. And we'll futz about with trying some other layouts and things as we go about, but yeah. So, desk personality setting 6, the cool one. We saw another desk personality in episode 0. I cannot remember the name. Gun store sounding like a club. Oh my god, we obviously have not talked too much about the sound design, because I could literally talk about every aspect of this game for maybe ages. The thing is, in a cyberpunk dystopia, why wouldn't that be the case? Like imagine it, right? Like imagine that you had some sort of like oral implant that like made it so that way you could listen to whatever you wanted wherever you were going. Now, obviously, you might think like, oh, what are you talking about, DeMaiste? That's just an earbud. You're wearing a wireless earbud right now. You can already listen to whatever sort of audio you want to wherever you're going. But I mean, literally imagine like going into a nightclub and being like, this nightclub is too loud. I just want to turn it down. Or I don't like the music that is playing in this particular area. The idea of a cyberpunk dystopia, in part, has all of that technology readily accessible, but also actively and maliciously used for evil. And what could possibly be better as like a aperitif of that energy and those motives, like that vibe, than a gun store sounding like a nightclub. Desk personality setting 6. The cool one. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I've probably forgotten more about firearms than you're programmed to remember. I bet you can. I recently acquired a license to carry concealed. Nice. Are you in law enforcement? Do you shoot for sport? Business or pleasure? Yeah? What's she gonna say? Neither. May I ask why you're looking to carry concealed, man? Oh, you know. Assault with a deadly weapon, cruel intent? That kind of thing. Where did the music go? Some of my clients live in very rough neighborhoods. Even in broad daylight, coming down to the lower wards for house visits can be... I see. You're a lawyer? So I guess you'd say I'm in the market for self-defense. We have a wide selection of options for self-defense in a variety of sizes and calibers, with spread and PA fire options available. Physical alternative. Spread, referring to the spread of either the bullets or the pellets or whatnot. What does PA stand for here? I don't know. How did Morgan get a gun in episode 0? And if anyone says, by buying it, I do want to let you know you're on short notice. I hate you. I hate you, I hate this game, I hate the writers. My bad. PA stands for pseudo-automatic. I know. I didn't know, Morgan. Obviously, again, this is the cleverness of the writing, right? Morgan is demonstrating her incredible, I say incredible, her scope of knowledge. The desk is informing us, the readers, things that we might not be aware of. It's good writing. I'm just pissed. I'm pissed that I walked straight into it. But for concealed, it'd have to at least be small enough to... This would go a lot faster if I could just tell the desk what I want. Why? Why give me a choice here? The ticking in the background is a nice touch as well. I am curious if this is literally timed or not. Man. Here's the thing. If I went to a store and there was a clerk who was like, I have to give you the sales pitch, maybe I would listen to it. And that's assuming a human clerk, right? That's not assuming a robot. Or in this situation, a hologram that is programmed to like give you the spiel perfectly every single time. We also know that Morgan is not above like doing direct interjections. So fine, let's just... But she's probably buying the gun for murder, right? Like she's probably buying, like, okay, I know I'm overthinking this immediately, out the gate, but like, I don't know. I'm not as clever as the Heartbreak Killer. Because if you go into a store and you say, I would like, I don't know, a shotgun, a specific model of Remington shotgun, and then that specific model of Remington shotgun is used in a crime, right? Like obviously in the real world, that is, there are additional considerations, the number of those firearms that are purchased, the areas in which they are available, the areas in which, there are additional considerations. But also obviously, like, what I'm thinking about in this exact moment is, I'm thinking about when Morgan gets caught and is on the stand. And I have to assume that she is like, because the whole thing is that she thinks she's a genius, right? And like, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. That's not the point. Like, I guess be patient. I guess the thing that Morgan loses is time. But theoretically, if she could make the excuse that the robot told her about the gun and she didn't purchase the gun with an intent to forethought, I don't know. Mr. Streamer can't even solve the gun store problem. Can you believe this? Look, Wirebone. What I'm saying is, we just got a demonstration of the writer's ability. Fine, be patient. But walking in here and asking for a very specific model is gun nut behavior. I'm not trying to stand out. Some of the ones I test fired at the range left my shoulders sore for days. Do you have anything more discreet? I guess depending on your grip with regards to like heavier caliber pistols, right? Do you have anything more discreet? Right, no problem. Electromagnetic pulse models feature minimal kickback with the highest accuracy. Sure, we're talking railgun, to use certain colloquialisms. One targeted pulse of electricity can disable attackers at medium to short range, non-lethally and quietly. Oh, we're not talking magnetically propelled projectiles. We're talking literally like a taser equivalent. Sure, they're plenty quiet, but they also have piss-poor range, and even sustained fire won't do shit to any modder with insulation less than a few years old. Glorified tasers. Barely suitable for as party favors for anxiety-stricken college kids. I have feelings about this, but fine. Well, hopefully not too quiet. I'd want someone to come running to my rescue. Of course. Would you like to take a look at our mag rails? Okay. Magnetic, rail guns, etc., etc. Bullseye. We're proud to offer a number of models that utilize the latest miniaturized ultra-capacity batteries that generate a Lorentz force, which... Would a magnetic gun, like a magnetically propelled projectile, that doesn't make a lot of noise, right? The way that we think of firearms, in part, the loud noise comes from the explosion, which propels the bullet. So it wouldn't actually be louder, right? Slings a slug fast enough to mist a limb at over 30 meters. Okay. 1, meters, not freedom units of feet. 2, purple. Have I just not noticed that the text that has glossary entries has been in purple thus far? Obviously we are immediately going to go to the entry, but mist, slang, verb. Slang for shoot, destroy, kill, especially against living things. A slang term meaning to shoot or to kill, that originates from the bloody spray produced when a modern firearm's projectile makes contact with living tissue. E.g., a gun that size could mist a crowd from 100 meters, even if you weren't aiming. I think there's something pretty clever here, which I might be reading too much into. But notice that these other entries that are, right, sort of more generally informational and perhaps, let's say, client-friendly, have these like additional information parts, right? If you feel that a corporation, has been the victim of a hate crime, you can report it here. Users also frequently search for. Notice that missed, a term for murder or drastically wounding, doesn't have that. I do love when settings do this, right? In Shadowrun, the example that I was using earlier, do they actually call people chummers? Is that a Homestuck thing I'm doing? Anyways, there's a thing called NERPs, which is, oh no, new exciting retail product? Oh man, I can't believe I forgot this. But anyways, I do like when cyberpunk settings do introduce their own lexicon and sort of way of like immersing you in that universe. Mist is actually not terribly uncommon, I think, but it is still nice to have it there. So slings a slug fast enough to mist a limb at over 30 meters. And it's safe? Of course, ma'am. My bad. 2-factor safeties with GPS and emergency services sync. Oh, wait, no. In episode 0, Morgan talks about how hard it is to find, like, firearms that use, like, bullets, that use gunpowder, right? Am I remembering that correctly? It won't go off unless you want it to, and someone will definitely come running. Which also resolves my question about how loud the weapon would be, right? Obviously, if all of these things are built into the weapon electronically, and it electronically is sending a ping to somebody, that's the point. All those convenient safety features make it incredibly easy for the police, or anyone who can dupe their tool set, to lock you out of your own gun with the flip of a switch. You couldn't walk a piece like that down a single upstreet town without passing through 9 or 10 no-fire zones. Oh, interesting. Wacky, but interesting. They're the very worst, most useless kind of weapon a criminal could buy. Sounds perfect. How do we get started? the point is the GPS position, like the GPS signal. The point, I just said GPS positioning and GPS signal. Jeez Louise. The point is to be used as a distress flare smokescreen. I'm going to put myself back up on the top right. Why does it feel like every desk I run into has to be such a character? Mercifully, it's tucked itself away while the fabricators get the gun tagged. Interesting that tagged is not a term there. I assume it means, right, like traceable identification information, etc. But I've got some time to kill, so is there anything worth checking out around the shop? So we obviously remember this from episode 0. You look around, you interact with the environment, you can get social credit to gamble by doing so. Is the sound too loud? Let me know. I haven't fiddled around with like anything really. In part to avoid spoiling myself. So I've gotten fresh eyes on everything, and a part of that unfortunately does mean that I just don't know how anything's working. The background is fine, but this SFX was a teensy bit loud. I was thinking so. Let me know. We'll futz about with it. If there's anything that is particularly egregious, we'll deal with that. My mouse is actually behaving very strangely. Again, I was talking at the top about how I was having a little Bluetooth problems. My mouse is having like a real limited range of movement. So I don't know if it's my hardware or if it's the game setting. I am sort of surprised by the range of movement. I also have my mouse sensitivity mad high because I like having a very twitchy mouse because I'm a very twitchy person. So, you know. Obviously, there's that box there. There's examine, which I think is examining the gun case. I'm curious if there's anything else. Read. I love reading. And I love earning social credit. Someone left a data pad out here. What's in the news today? Lobo threatens. Excuse me. Lobo threatens Tetra with ransomware vulgarity. The internationally wanted terrorist and serial data thief, most commonly known as Lobo, that means wolf, has seized a cache of vital Keystone data files belonging to the Tetra Metallics Group, according to a press release from the mining conglomerate. In a blitz of cross-posts on 90 different socials translated into all 11 dominant languages, the supposed hacktivist, radical conservationist, and gentleman thief made clear their intent to ransom said files back to their lawful owners at severe cost. Though the posts were quickly flagged and quarantined thanks to user reports, Lobo's latest manifesto, which we have declined to publish here on grounds of journalistic integrity and due to the strong language contained within, has remained in circulation thanks to a loose network of rogue data harbors. In addition to the sizable monetary ransom, Lobo put out a list of demands that spanned pages. Most prominent amongst them was a call for de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. Sources at Tetra refused to confirm or deny reports that Lobo's captured data impacted only their billing services, but insisted that the corporation could not in good faith resume distribution until the ransom situation was resolved. Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack, Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack, as supply halted and demand rose. stoked by memories of catastrophic supply chain disruption in the mid-21st century. A spokesperson for Mining is Progress, a lobbying group that represents the rare earth metal industry, called Lobo's repeated attacks acts of terror against the free market. Whoa there, looks like you're not logged in. Want to take care of that real quick? Lobo's Wolf, yeah, I thought so. It looks like there is an ad break running right now, which I do apologize about. I do want to try and keep the ad breaks not particularly interesting for people who are missing them. But I am going to say, in part due to my incredible enjoyment of The Devil, we are going to keep going during ad breaks. And I do apologize. I only got 2 hours for this, y'all. Do we think Lobo is a real hacktivist? Like, do we think Lobo genuinely believes these things? Or do we think Lobo is a corporate shill, right? Like, oh, sorry, your service is disconnected because there's a hacktivist attacking our infrastructure. You should upgrade to a premium feature, which will not be disrupted if this hacktivist does so again in the future, right? I'm sure Morgan has thoughts about it. Lobo again, or someone using their name. Suppose it doesn't matter if they're the original or not, so long as they're a genuine threat. And no one could snare a corporation as rich as Tetra without serious skills. It does seem consistent with Lobo's politics making demands for the big bad wolf was here, sure. Search results for Lobo. We tried to process your request, but Lobo beat our ass till we ragdolled. So this is ooh, the cool hacker getting in here. I will admit a certain amount of, because I still prefer pen and paper and physical forms, which are just as easily, if not easier, to steal, but that's besides the point. I have a very specific feeling about hacking in media. It always feels rather hard to execute on in a way that is interesting by most media, right? Because you get one of two different schools of thought, which is either people typing very quickly as if the speed with which they type makes them a better hacker, which I've never hacked before, so maybe it does. Or you get the opposite end, right? Which is sort of the oh my god, Watch Dogs? What's the name of the protagonist from Watch Dogs? Aiden? But you get that thing where it's basically it's cyberpunk wizardry, right? In the world in which you say a wizard did it in fantasy settings, more often than not, a lot of settings can use a hacker did it to justify why things don't behave the way that they're supposed to. In Shadowrun, it's called decking. There's what is it? Brain dances in Cyberpunk 2077. So you see this sort of usage in a lot of places. Curious to see how that pans out here, but. The big bad wolf was here. You are welcome for clearing out this cache of soy slop before it could clog your brain's arteries any further. To whatever dumbass dishwasher script kiddie they yelled at to come fix this, a word of advice from your superior. I own that password suggestion algorithm. Want to resecure? Try this. Relax your shoulders, stand up from your desk, then take a deep breath and then firebomb your own servers. Literally cheaper for you at this point. For the rest of you slack-jawed scream lobotomites looking for a little excitement in their search history, find a pig and rip their throat out. That'll teach you how to run with the wolf. Lobo is king. Yeah, okay. It tells us everything we need to know about Lobo, so there you go. Oh, okay. So Morgan just asked, it aligns with Lobo's politics to ask for de-escalation. Doesn't seem like Lobo's speed, right? That entry we just read has very little to do with de-escalating, right? Like he's talking about like firebombing servers, he's talking about violence, he's talking about like ripping the throat out of a pig. That's not de-escalation. Ransom money, while I don't know that necessarily ransom money does mean politics, it makes more sense than de-escalation. Maybe? Money, money, money. Lobo's always burning it, I guess. Hacking takes effort and God-given talent. But you don't need much in the way of hardware to get started. So I guess it's probably not about the money after all. No! No! Come on! What do you mean it's not about the money? Most prominent among them being a call for de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. No, that doesn't... Fine, sure, okay, whatever. I am incorrect. It's a very rare event that happens every once in a while. Okay. Yeesh. Would it kill you to clean up a little? Guess the desk kindly asking customers not to litter can only get you so far if you're not willing to pay someone to sweep up. Wait, is this trash? This flyer, it's scannable? Stagnancy theory? Really? They get a lot of self-proclaimed philosophers in here. A stagnant world, modern man's plateau. Renowned net philosopher Corbin Cawthorne, real name withheld, offers to take you on a deep dive into the global trends and sociological patterns that have driven our planet to the halting point in his groundbreaking and controversial seminar. Moore's Law used to be the benchmark. Now it feels like a pipe dream. We used to dream of humanity marching bravely into space, of artisans crafting virtual wonders that made the confines of our own reality seem limited. Instead, our brightest minds spend all their time and effort kicking the can of climate crisis down the road, while their more fortunate peers spend their most productive working years in search engine optimization and customer experience design. I have only good things to say about the Google and YouTube algorithm. The middle class, eaten alive by the rich they prop up, can no longer afford the very products they help create. Without mass consumer demand, tech no longer has evolutionary pressures to be as small and powerful as possible. In stagnant waters, only parasites and disease grow aplenty. The only cure comes from you taking action. There's another link at the bottom, probably leading to a collection dish. Or a state honeypot if you want to be paranoid. They better burn this shit before some neat freak idiot picks it up and gets arrested. Is that not what you did, Morgan? Sure. Oh, I can't believe I missed out on credits! I did critically read the article! Come on. Hate these kinds of screens. Gotta look at them with your nose turned up or else they start eye tracking. Next thing you know, they're saying hello on a first name basis. But I've got practice with this sort of thing. I can skim the headlines at least. Why the 12-6 work week gives us more free time than ever. 12-6. I'm 14 and I tried dating a smart UI. It made me the happiest I've ever been. Yikes! Yikes! On several different levels. How term limits are anti-democracy. Woof. Morgan is Lobo. Morgan said wolf. Morgan said woof. Wolves say woof. It all makes sense. Transfusion from warm android saves soldier's life. That's one hell of a headline. If the Animate 16 wasn't selling well before, I'm sure by now it's Animate 16. The Animate 16 is the latest android produced by Noble Electronics, and we think it's the greatest machine the world has ever seen. Boasting a battery life of over 154 hours with patented soft touch digitation. Remarkable tenderness and sensitivity, and the uncanny charm you come to expect from us. We're sure that your Animate 16 will be the best purchase you make this year, and you'll never want to go back out in the cold. Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. What is the android from Dragon Ball that like Krillin dates? And then like spoilers for a series that is 8 billion years old. She's not actually an android, it turns out, or whatever. 18. Android 18. Okay. So it's not that tongue-in-cheek. Okay. If the Animate 16 wasn't selling well before, I'm sure by now it's selling well? I assume that the watching TV was sort of the end of the like investigation process, but yeah. "16 was the buff ginger droid, you think, but it's been a billion years." Yeah, I also haven't watched Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z in a very long time, and I also could not tell you which one is Android 18 or 16 in this instance, so I'm curious though. There's some kind of news program playing on the screen. Most public places are too scared to put on any channel with content more political than the smiling micro apartment flippers. But this is a gun store, after all. Power is always political. I talked about this in the past. I don't know if I've ever explicitly said it. The definition of power in political science is about it used to be about being able to get whatever you wanted, is like a very shorthand way of referring to it. But a more sort of modern take about it is having the ability to influence others in ways that you would prefer. Power is always political is very funny to me. It's both very correct and also water is wet, you know? Where are the Property Brothers and Of the Devil? I was thinking, like, I actually kind of enjoy those like shows where they're doing like house flipping and stuff like that. Insofar as it being like background noise. But like the thing that is important to note here, right, is that we have Morgan as the narrator. Both this game, as they said at the top, is a work of fiction, but also, and I think equally importantly, this is not necessarily a commentary on those kinds of shows, although it might also be. But the point is that Morgan is a narcissist. Morgan has a superiority complex. The point is that Morgan looks at things disdainfully because it's cringe to enjoy things, except for the things that Morgan likes. Wait, how long has it been? Shouldn't take them that long to get my gun properly bugged. Fair enough. I'm sorry, we've received a breaking news story. We're seeking confirmation and yes, we have it confirmed. Lead programmer at Noble Electronics and famed designer of the Turing solution, Dr. David Ashur, has passed. So obviously this is supposed to be significant. Music has stopped. We know a little bit about David Ashore and Noble from episode 0. What it is that we're already supposed to know, I do not remember, but... Is this the guy from the intro sequence for Schlaps? Not sure if you're pleased with yourself for pulling that shit out of your brain or not. Are you talking about Android 16? I'm sure Android 16 being a ginger had nothing to do with it. What? Okay, so maybe not the guy from the intro sequence? Proprietary Vantage automated dependent management system, along with the Animate series of androids. Must be some kind of corporate propaganda tactic, or... No, they wouldn't risk... They wouldn't risk fake news! Morgan, I've got bad news. You know in Metal Gear Solid 2, where there's like that robot underwater that's just generating fake news all the time, and it's like ruining the world or whatever, and that's the premise of Metal Gear Solid 2? That's the real world, bestie. But why? Perhaps better known for his breakthroughs in the field of machine learning and language. Misinformation, maybe, trying to... Authored many of the developments that allowed for Noble's rapid growth and market dominance. David Ashore is dead? Including the popular Desk series of smart UIs. That's very sad. I didn't ask. Sorry, I just... Commands only. Understood. Will you be paying with cash or credit? Debit. Sure. 9:41 a.m., July 1st, 2086. I don't know if I should try to push forward. We've only got 20 minutes left. I don't want to end in the middle of something, and this feels like a good natural stopping point, but we'll keep rocking and rolling. Oh my god, look at this fancy lad. I had to be fancy for Of the Devil, you kidding me? The gun was light. Lighter than I expected. A real gun should always be heavy, greater than the sum of its parts. That's one of the things I like about them, their weight. Like they're anchoring the world around them. Okay, Morgan. Like they're a fixed point in time. Like everything else is just relative to them, either closer or further to the end. I would have liked something heavier during that walk back to my apartment. I don't feel sympathy for her. And I know that is a messed up thing to say, but I'm waiting for the rug pull. I would have liked something. I would have liked to have something to feel far away from. Morgan's apartment. Why the smaller font ART? Art. Is the screen supposed to be bouncing like that? Earthquake? Didn't realize I was home until my hand was on the door. I just don't trust Morgan having human emotions. I don't trust it. What is this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Fumbling in my pocket for my lighter. cute lion head motif. Oh, you assume train. Yep, there it is. Like a sign from God itself. Fair enough. Golden, polished, tastefully ergonomic, and fine and expensive. And a good lighter. It was a good gift from David Usher. I kept the card, didn't I? Here it is. To the only smoker in my life, I know gold's a bit much for your personal style, but they don't make a lot of these anymore. Believe it or not, the only other people who share your vice are stuffy old men with bad, expensive taste. Hope you can manage to get some use out of it anyway. Your friend, David. All right, let's look at the profile. Yeah, that's the silhouette. That's the silhouette of that character from the intro scene. Come on. October 28th, height 180 centimeters, weight 68 kilograms, blood type O negative. I believe O negative is the universal donor blood type, right? Lead programmer at Noble Electronics, likes street food, crowds, fishing, dislikes brain freeze, driving, lint. Fair enough. Not a lot of things to like about lint, I suppose. Eyeglasses, custom design by Fiamma. Shampoo, expensive. Sense of humor, unique. Okay. I have a thing about gag deaths and temporary deaths in media. Now, obviously, there is a conversation that can be had about creating an artificial intelligence facsimile of someone, or the like holograms. Like, obviously, I expect if David Assure is dead, I expect there to be some conversation about them going, it's okay, we've cloned his brain, we have it right here. And so David Assure continues to live, a la the Tupac hologram that caused such controversy. I'm curious to see if David Assure is dead, or if this is a transitory thing that is to prove a separate point. Very curious. His dead mom anime side ponytail. I was curious about these necklaces as well, right? Because I assume that's a pearl necklace, white orb necklace. But there also appears to be chain links. Also the ring on the middle finger. The character designs are very good. I love the artwork. It's so distinctive. Like I have genuinely never seen either character designs or characters that elicit such like, the word I'm going to use here is fascination, and that might not be the right word, but I very much love the character design in these games. David. The news might have more information by now. Or not. Looks like the net's full of copy-pasted statements from Noble. Auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quotes. Sure. Search results for David Assure, showing results for David Assure biography. So this is what Morgan is seeing in the moment. David Assure was a renowned computer scientist. Ah, we're seeing the red text leak through, huh? Okay. Sorry. I'm spoilering myself. David Assure was a renowned computer scientist, user experience designer, industry leader, philanthropist, and lead programmer at Noble Electronics. He first received worldwide recognition for his postgraduate theses on intelligent programmatic linguistic weighting, a body of work which would come to be known as the Turing solution. Though he retained the original patent on the Turing solution for the rest of his life, he was famously unlitigious. By most industry experts' estimates, the Turing solution exists in some form in 92% of active automated dependent source codes. David Assure's philanthropic efforts and invaluable skills placed him at the front and center of Noble Electronics' public image. Many considered him to be the unofficial face of the private company, and his private life graced the tabloids and gossip sections of the net on many occasions. David Assure passed away on July 7th, 2086, citation needed. Very similar to like Wikipedia articles and entries, right? This entry has received an unusually large number of suggested edits in the last 44 minutes. Dissemination of disinformation is a Class 3 misdemeanor. Spreading conspiracy theories about public figures is a violation of our terms of service. Always love the knowledge that Wikipedia is privately owned and that at some point in time, someone might obtain it and use it for good for the world. Good, positive, charitable endeavors. Or not. Looks like the net's full of copy-pasted statements from nobles, auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quotes, reactions to the news from every micro-celebrity under the sun. No! No, don't call us out on the React meta! Don't do it! They're raw, authentic emotions brought to you live from all the car seats and bathroom mirrors of the world. There's something interesting here. Obviously, okay, I have to accept one of two worlds. World number one, Morgan is genuinely grieving. World number two, Morgan is not genuinely grieving, and this is the setup for a rug pull. In which case, I might as well just go along for the ride because I do enjoy the ride that End Circle does. People do process grief in different ways, and there are people out there who will process grief to hearing this kind of news. Assuming David Assure occupies an almost Princess Diana sort of situation, right? There are people who felt personally aggrieved by that kind of thing. And so obviously we know, obviously Morgan is much closer, right? So that's kind of the thing that is being dug at here. That's kind of the scene with the desk, when the desk goes, oh, that's so sad to hear that David Assure passed away, is like Morgan is like, I don't want to talk to you about it. I'm processing my emotions, or maybe I'm not processing my emotions. Maybe I'm locking those away. So we're seeing something that is maybe uncharacteristic of her in that moment. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm very curious. But there's nothing about his death, not even a time window. Did he die this morning? Was he found dead in his bed? Has he been dead for days while Noble's just been waiting for the right time to let it leak? Or did he die last night while I was out screwing around? A phone call? Better not be work-related. This game out here taking shots at everyone. To be... Yes, and also specifically Morgan. I do believe, and I think I talked about this last time we played Of the Devil, I do believe that game designers and programmers and writers have their lessons that they're trying to impart, right? There's a message that is being said in all of this media. And if you believe that there is anything out there that is 100% unbiased, I have a great vacation home in the Arctic to sell you. Everyone has an agenda in some capacity. Of the Devil is very good at having that conversation. I'm not in the right mood. Oh no, I love her. Oh, Morgan. Hey, thanks for picking up so fast. The red eyes. I don't know. Do we have confirmation that that's a cybernetics thing? She's Jessica Starling. Who asked me to call her? Hi, Jess. Jessica Starling is a very funny name. June 24th, 176 centimeters, weight 63 kilograms, blood type O positive. I believe the situation with O positive is that it can donate to every other positive blood type. So if you're A positive, B positive, or AB positive, O positive can donate to that. I think, I'm not sure. Occupation, executive assistant at Noble Electronics. Not a difficult idea, not difficult to predict where we're going with this. Likes, dancing, buying shoes, reselling shoes. Dislikes, hangovers, soft mattresses, machismo. Charm point, her earnest smile. Relaxes by bar hopping in the lower wards. The best at reading the stock market. The best? Okay. Hi, Jess. Listen, I need to... I've already seen the news. What? Of course you have. Duh. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I just... With the company and their people and all the... What I mean is, if it were up to me, you would have been the first call I made. Is that sincere? For a decision like that to be up to employees, for a decision like that to be up to David's assistant, about 1,000 other noble employees above her on the ladder would have to get axed, but... It's alright, Jess. No one ever really knows what to do with these kinds of things. I don't believe this! You already got me with this! You got me with this in episode 0 with, Carlos. You got me with this already. I do not believe this. You cannot make me believe this. Still, I'm sorry you had to hear it from a stream, Chiron. What difference does it make how the information gets to me? I could have stumbled upon his corpse myself and I would feel mostly the same. How do you feel, Morgan? What would you describe this feeling as? Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call anyway. Like, can I tell you, like, again, and again, right? Like, I just need to enjoy the ride. I just need to go along for the ride. Is it weird that my instinct right now is like, Morgan's pissed that Morgan wasn't the one who got to kill David ashore? Yeah. If I want more information, she's the best source I'm going to get, maybe for weeks. What to ask at a time like this? I'm supposed to express denial first, sociopath. Trying to mimic interpersonal human behaviors. And also, to be fair, not all sociopaths are like Morgan. But then again, Morgan would probably describe themselves as a one-of-a-kind sociopath. I'm supposed to express denial first, but she's probably short on time. And I don't feel like following the playbook to the letter right now. Can you tell me what happened? The police, they think that he took something. The Heartbreak Killer. Suicide? And the police are already involved? They say it was some kind of poison or... God. Noble's got a lot of weight to bludgeon the state with, especially in this city. I would think they'd keep the police at arm's length for at least a few days. Listen, Morgan, I need to ask something of you. Can you defend me in a court of law? Of course, Jess. Whatever you need. Whatever you need? A bit much, but she's grieving. This is just how people talk. Oh, I do like getting to see the inside of Morgan's processes. Sometimes bad people still have good feelings. True. There is a world where Morgan is experiencing grief. That is technically true, I suppose. Every sociopath describes themselves as a one-of-a-kind sociopath. That's why therapy doesn't work on them. And it's not like my day was really salvageable anyway. I'd like to bring you up here to David's place. What do you mean? There's something I have to give you. Oh, also, dang it, I just realized I'm covering up the music that is being selected to play by being in the top right corner. They are telling us the audio tracks that we're getting as we're going through. I think that one was called Flow With It. You're not handling his will already, are you? If the police are involved, it'll be a while before... No, I'm sorry. It's not like that. Before he... Huh? She's asthmatic. She's using an inhaler, sure. No, please, don't hold back on my account. David asked me to get this into your hands. It wasn't work-related. It's the android with the hoodie from episode 0, from the ending, the green-haired one. But he asked me. I know I'm asking a lot here, but since it's turned out to be the last thing he ever asked me to do, I'd like to get it done. I don't like showing up at crime scenes more often or more quickly than strictly necessary. And that's when I only have to worry about the police. With Noble looming over all this, security will be doubled and scrutiny tripled. This is too risky. There's no logical reason to agree to her request. Stop. Stop making me feel for a sociopathic serial killer. Stop. I don't feel sympathy or pity or empathy for Morgan. I don't feel any of those things. Swing by my place with a cab, yeah? Besides my own morbid curiosity. I hate her. You care about her? I don't! My interest in Morgan's well-being extends as far as watching an HBO special. When Morgan gets killed, as she rightfully deserves, by God flinging a thunderbolt down from the sky, my greatest pity will be that the interesting show is over. And nothing they can do about Morgan's backstory or upbringing will make me feel any sort of, like, fellowship with her. Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. What is it? You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you? For morning? 10:11 a.m., July 1st, 2086. I regret to inform you, lads. Gotta end the stream. Thank you all so much for being here and for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it. It has been real and it has been fun. And I gotta be so honest with you all. Getting back into the world of the devil is a lot for me. In a good way, but it's a lot, lads. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I do appreciate it. I like this splash screen. This is new, and I wish I had done literally any pre-work so that way we could talk about this. We're gonna have to pick it up next time. Bottle of Jack Daniels, Morgan looking pensive, bolo tie undone. There's a lot to talk about here. We'll talk about it next time. We're going to be streaming going forward on Thursdays. That's going to be at 8 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. PST. Do the conversions if you're Mountain or Central Time. We're going to be doing them every week going forward until I finish. Wednesdays, tentatively, will also be Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, until I finish that as well. I do not dress up in a suit for that, but I do want to say thank you guys all so much for being here and for hanging out. It has been a blast. I know some of the themes and topics are heavy here, but here's the good news. In the world of the Devil, it's all fiction, and we all get to relax and go back to the real world, which is definitely not anywhere near so nihilistically terrifying. See ya!